The following episode of the Maui Chamber of Commerce's Business Matters was originally broadcast on December 19th, 2023.
It's time now for Business Matters, brought to you by Mokulele Airlines. Now here's your host, Pam Tumpop.
Good morning, Pam. How are you this morning?
Hey, good morning, Gary. I'm great. How are you this morning?
Very good. Another wet and wild Tuesday morning.
Well, we are grateful for the rain, and I'm
Yes,
glad to
we
be
are.
back in Japan. Thank you so much for all you do for our show and all the technical behind-the-scenes stuff. You make the magic happen, and we appreciate it. Want to welcome everybody to Business Matters, sponsored by Mokulele Airlines. I'm your host, Pamela Tumpop, president of the Maui Chamber of Commerce. And today we're going to speak with James Tokioka, director of the State of Hawaii Department of Business, Economic Development, and Tourism. You can imagine all that falls under that purview. We are going to talk with a small business owner, Danielle Villa of Let's Go Kiddo Maui. And we're going to talk to Monica Bogar of the Napili Flow Farm. So it's going to be an exciting morning this morning. But we're going to kick it off with James Tokioka, who was named Director of the Department of Business, Economic Development, and Tourism on May 5th of this year. Most recently, he served as the Deputy Director for the Department of Transportation's Airports Division. And James began his career, he had a political career for a long time, beginning as a member of the Kauai County Council in 1996, where he served for 10 years. And then we first met when he went on to serve for 16 years as a member of the Hawaii State House of Representatives, where he represented our state very well. Prior to his public service, James worked his way through the hospitality industry, both in Hawaii and across the United States, doing everything from bussing tables to managing hotels and even owning restaurants. James has worked for Oceanic Time Warner Cable Spectrum, which I didn't know, and I used to work for the company years ago as well, where he oversaw new business management programs and assisted with the securing of the largest single contract in the company's history. He also studied at Holiday University in Mississippi, where he completed the accelerated certification program in hotel, food and beverage, guest services, and security management. So he has a wonderful background and is perfectly suited for the position he's in. Aloha, James, and good morning. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Pam. I'm great. Thank you for having me on your show. It's an honor. Thank you.
Oh, it's our great pleasure. We also had recently talked a little bit about the Seabed program and who helped us with our Main Valley County Festival this year. And DBEDT has been doing tremendous efforts to support Maui during these wildfires. Can you talk a little bit about the breadth of the DBEDT program and the work that you've been doing to support Maui during this terrible time?
Yes, our business development office, which is Dennis Lang and his team, and Dennis has been there for quite a few years now. He's recognizable by many people in the business sector. But as soon as the fires hit, Governor Green asked me and DBED to focus our efforts on recovery and assistance. And one of the first programs Dennis presented to our team was he wanted to make sure that the Made in Hawaii program and the Maui Made Products program was supported, and that all of the businesses that could operate and go to the pop-ups, DBED hosted and paid for their registration fees, just made it as easy as possible for them to try to get a business going while they didn't have a storefront. So we worked with Luana Mahi and your office, Pam, And I know you worked with the lieutenant governor on the pop-up programs on Oahu too. But that was the governor's main initiative, is to make sure that we could do as much as we could to get the programs going on the business side. So that was what we were doing. And as you may have seen yesterday in the governor's press conference, a lot of money is going to be put into Maui relief in the next legislative session. So, Maui is always on our mind, but we're also working on many other things too.
Well, you have a huge range of activities under your umbrella, and we are so grateful. And I do want to also share with our audience that you brought up the Lieutenant Governor's initiative, which was the Cool for Maui during the month of November. You were a huge part of that. You were working so hard. This was a fast-moving program, folks. Many on Maui heard of it. They heard a lot about it, but to organize all these activities across the state with the different mayors, different facility locations, multiple locations on Oahu, and then to secure all of the airfare, the product shipping, and the hotels. I know, Jimmy, you were on the front lines of that, and we truly appreciated it because that made it affordable for these small businesses to participate, and that's what to participate.
Yeah, so we, as you know, Pam, you were in the meetings with us as well, and there are a lot of people that supported it, but a lot of people were just working in the background to help the many, many businesses that really, really need it, especially, during the holiday months and with Christmas right around the corner and the New Year. We cannot imagine from where our offices are on Oahu if the circumstances were, faced with us, how hard it is for all of the vendors and everyone who has lost, most of their possessions, to try to recover from the fires. So, anything we can do to help is what we're trying to do. And, like I said, most of it is in the background, but, that's what we do. So when people call us and thank us and tell us that, they did really, really well at one of the craft fairs and they were appreciative of that, it makes it so much enjoyable to be there, to be in a position to help, and there's no better feeling than that.
That is so true. That is so true. And you folks have worked so hard, and it's always tough to try and put new programs in place, especially for the first time, and to do it in a time where everybody was and still is working to help all of these companies during the holiday season. Just because we know it's a high traffic time, but it's also a time when they're really coming together and trying to also spend time with family and friends. And you folks are on the front line on that initiative. I know that you're helping with the temporary housing, and that's been one of the biggest concerns. People are just, looking for plans and wanting to know, as we've seen people move out of hotels, what's happening next, and when are they going to feel a little more secure, feeling like they're in a space of comfort. And that's very heightened right now with the holiday season. Can you talk a little bit about, what's happening on the temporary housing side? And I know the governor is working really hard and made a big announcement the other day about short-term rentals and trying to get them in long-term rentals.
Yeah, so the governor has been out in front, and when the fire hit, the day after, the governor assigned myself and Luke Myers to handle the transition from the shelters to non-congregate shelters, which is the hotels. And so we moved 6,000, almost 7,000 people in 13 days from the tent congregate shelters to hotels. And it was a big lift in the industry. A lot of the hotels were very, very supportive, two of which worked with us without even a contract to relocate people. So I've mentioned it many times that the Royal Lahaina and the Outrigger properties, they just said, Jimmy, just send them. And that helped us to move people over as quickly as we did. But then we knew that that wasn't going to last long. We needed to move them into more comfortable settings with living arrangements that had kitchens and in many cases, what we're hoping for is a yard if they have pets. Um, so, it's a heavy lift even right now. We feel comfortable going through the holidays that were set. The next pressure point is January 15th, and I will say that Bob Fenton from FEMA, he's the regional director of Region 9, has been working his butt off. Unfortunately for Hawaii, he was in Hawaii at a conference the day of the fire and has remained here since, just trying to accommodate the survivors as much as possible. And his team is working really, really hard. We have a lot of people that are trying to get vacation rentals tied up, as you know, the governor is too. And I think with some of his announcements, with some of the programs that the mayor is offering for the tax incentives for people who own vacation rentals, we're going to be able to put people in more comfortable settings. So that's where we're at right now. And every day, many, many people from the county, Wendy Tawamoto and her team, Samalu, and others are working really hard to secure rooms from the state, Luke Myers, the Department of Human Services, and again, FEMA with Bob Fenton. Every single day, everyone is all hands on deck trying to get as many units as we possibly can.
Well,
CNHA, CNHA is another organization that is working on programs as well. So it is a community effort, and everybody's trying their best to secure rooms for our local families.
It's so important. And for those who can help, if you're listening to this radio show, the good news is that, as James just mentioned, excuse me, the mayor has just come up with, and, it went before the council, which is real property tax relief for those who are willing to move short-term rentals into long-term rentals to help those impacted by the wildfire. So we're very grateful. We're looking at, he's looking at incentives and encouragement programs. And we have developers. We've got solutions for housing that can also be built quick. We've got a lot of options on the table that are being looked at. And so we're just really grateful, as you know, and I got to hear when we were at those programs in November for Kokua for Maui. That was also a time where people were just having to move just before Thanksgiving, or getting notices around Thanksgiving. So it was a time of concern for some of the families, and I know that things went very smoothly. People were moved, and some people were able to stay a little longer. So we appreciate knowing the January 15th deadline, and we're here to serve. So if there's anything that we can do to help, I know you've got all hands on deck, and we don't need to add too many cooks to the kitchen when things are moving. So I just put that out there. If there's anything we can do, we're here. But I'm so glad to know that everybody's got that front and center, because
I will add real quickly. Sorry about that. I'll add real quickly. We couldn't do it without a lot of people that helped, and Lisa Paulson on Maui was a big help. Jerry Gibson and his team from Hawaii Hotel Alliance, and Jeff Wagner, Outrigger Hotels. So the December 15th deadline, we were going to be short 200 rooms. And so what Outrigger Hospitality Group did is they called 200 people and asked them to change their reservations and relocate them in other places so that they could keep survivors in their property. And that was a huge help to everyone. And they're not going to go around saying it, but I can, because I know what was happening in the background, and we were all very, very concerned as to where we're going to move people. So big kudos to Outrigger. Royal Lahaina in the front end was so helpful. Even now, Kelly Sanders and his team there. So it's a team effort, and everybody is so many operations. We're doing so much. So just wanted to make sure that I shared that with you, Pam, and your listeners.
James, I'm so glad that you did, because often those stories are not heard. And again, it's because the team members are just doing the right thing. They're doing everything they can to leverage their assets and be of service. And I really appreciate you mentioning that, because often you're right. We don't know, and sometimes other things are being said in media that are not accurate. And it's really important to hear those stories, because this is, as you say, to coordinate a massive effort like this, to find things in the 11th hour, and to continue to work with the hotels has been amazing, hosting people. But also, we're having to also shore up our economy and keep, the health of our community going as well, get some of these businesses and their employees back to business. It's been a really tough challenge, and we're thrilled to hear those who are on the front line serving, those who are making big changes, and the amount of coordination, because, as you said, thousands of people,
Yeah, so two other properties that were huge too, Pam, is the Hyatt Regency, Fred Findell. They were also in a situation where a group was coming in, and they kept 500 rooms so that people could stay. The Westin Maui, they took in pets, and they took in one floor was with 100 something dogs. And you can only imagine in 3.5 months, 4 months, what dogs do in the rooms and on the hallways. And they wanted to make sure that people were still connected with their families, and pets include their families. So
that's right.
just a tremendous effort by many. Every single hotel property in West Maui contributed, as far as I know. Maybe a couple of them didn't, or vacation rentals, but most of them took in their employees. So,
yeah,
a gigantic effort on all. But I just wanted to mention a few that stood out on our ends.
Well, I'm so glad that you did, because, as you said, they're working hard. They're continuing to serve. They don't have time to tell the story, and there are so many stories to be told. And I'm glad that you're telling them, because you've been working on that, and I know so many of our condo hotels have been involved too. Here we are, and I know you are gearing up for a big effort to continue efforts to support Maui's economic recovery. There's things happening coming in January. Can you tell us a little bit about what's next on our economic recovery?
Sure. The governor entrusted me to run a economic recovery commission, and you were one of the first people on the commission. So basically what it is the state DBED working with the County Economic Development Office, which is the Wanamahi, to put together a framework of what is important for economic recovery moving forward. So there's a lot of people, excuse me, a lot of people from Maui who are on the commission. Obviously we have to have people from Oahu, whether it's finance or the unions, because the trade unions are going to be a big part of the recovery of Maui for construction and economic development of the construction. So basically putting together a commission, laying out a framework. We have a lot of cultural advisors as part of the group, but laying out a foundation that's the community will feel comfortable with, is what the economy looks like moving forward. And I just want to make it clear that this is not what Lahaina will look like, because that will be all in the county and the planning office's purview. But for myself and Luana, it's just coordinating this group, coming up with best practices, ideas moving forward, and turning it over to the County of Maui to implement when the time is right, when development starts and economic development begins. So that's what we're doing. The first meeting is January 5th at Maui University, and a lot of people are looking forward to helping. So we're excited about that.
Well, I know that this is a tremendous effort. You're organizing a lot of people. I think I heard maybe over 50.
There's over 100. There's over 100 on
100.
the initial committee, but that doesn't even include the government agencies. So every agency of the government on the state side and the county side will be involved somehow, but all of their names are not on the list.
That's right.
And
yeah,
so,
they're not on the committee, but they're the committee support team. Those people behind the scenes doing all the work that help us form decisions that don't get recognized. So at some point, I'm sure there'll be a report listing everybody.
and we see this going on till maybe August of next year. But by then we should have a good plan, and we will. I'm sure there will be other people that will come on, and other people that will go off during the time period. But it's just to support Maui County. Mayor Bisson is a very good man. I've enjoyed working with him during this. Nobody could be prepared for what happened. But our job is just to be there to support, and that's what we're doing with this commission, is laying out a plan to move Lahaina and West Maui forward.
Well, we deeply appreciate your tremendous service on all fronts.
And you're going to be a big part of that, Pam. I think you know that.
Thank you. Well, we are happy to serve. Of course, it is our community that we love dearly, and everybody on our team is ready to jump in and do whatever's needed. So please continue to reach out on anything we can do. But I know you're leading on so many fronts, and we're grateful for your tremendous service. We're grateful that you're at the helm of the Department of Business, Economic Development, Tourism, which is so pivotal to our state and to our county always, and of course now, particularly during this time. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for all that you're doing. It's always a pleasure to serve with you. And I'll, if not before, I'll see you on the 5th. But just want to send blessings and best wishes to you and your family for a great holiday season.
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. And to all of you listeners, Merry Christmas, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Jimmy. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Aloha.
Aloha. Well, I'm just so grateful for all that Jimmy is doing. And of course, as he mentioned, he is not doing it alone. There is a whole team of people on so many different fronts. And I'm thrilled that he got to share some of the stories about the work that our hoteliers have been doing to support our community during this time. We're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, Mokulele Airlines, and we'll be right back with Danielle Villa.
Mokulele Airlines operates the largest commuter airline hub in the country, right here in Kahului. Fly Mokulele from Kahului to Molokai, Lanai, Hana, Waimea, Kona, and now Hilo. Mokulele also operates the only flights between Kapalua and Honolulu. There is never a middle seat on Mokulele, and every seat has a window and aisle. Visit mokuleleairlines.com and take your next flight from the newly renovated Mokulele Terminal.
Good morning, Danielle, owner and creator of Let's Go Kiddo. It is a keiki-inspired small business that creates eco-friendly activities for families on the go. The line currently has a dozen items and will be expanding with new products this spring. Both of Danielle's own keiki help prepare and package all the products. You can even spot them in action on the business's side of what they're doing on social media and their website. So check that out to see how this family-owned business is run. When the family isn't crafting together, Danielle keeps busy with her small outdoor preschool. Also, outside of work and crafts, her favorite hobby is planning the next travel adventures ahead with her husband and 2 boys. Aloha, Danielle. Welcome to the show.
Aloha. Good morning.
Good morning. So glad to have you on. Let's talk for a
Thank you
minute
so
about
much.
what inspired Let's Go Kiddo.
Absolutely. So when we first had children, my oldest was 2. We started doing our international traveling, and I did not realize how tricky that would be to entertain a 2-year-old on a 10-hour plus flight. And so I quickly started creating these take-along bags for him. And we would use, something like a zipper pouch that we had at home or some kind of small bag here. And I would kind of collect things as we go at the store. Oftentimes being, though, like single-use notepads or just something that we would use and then throw away at the end of our trip. And I slowly had this idea of, gosh, how could we make something where he could either continue to reuse this on, future trips or, more families could use kind of pre-made packets to take along with them when they come to and from Hawaii. So I'd say around 2019, we started brainstorming, and my husband was very supportive of me moving forward with this. And finally, we kind of pulled the trigger and decided to launch March of 2020, which obviously was horrible timing as nobody was going to be traveling. So March 8th, 2020, we launched and then quickly pulled it. We quickly pulled it back and took the next few months, kind of fine-tuned everything. We made some new partners to work with here on Maui, and it took, I'd say, maybe 6 months from then and kind of evolved into what it is now, which is different island activity kits for each of our main islands, sets of educational flashcards that kids can use in either in the classroom or at home or in the car or on the go. And I would say it kind of grew from that, just really wanting to have something fun and special for my boys to travel along with, and a space where I could include notes so that if we did keep the activity journal later as a mom, usually typically very busy on these trips we took, I could refer back to these little journals and I could reread these fun notes and kind of relive those memories that we made together.
I just so love that because, and the kids they're going to have those memories, but to have those journals for a lifetime. Our family's been going through lots of old pictures of we're storing things in different ways now. And it brings everything back. It brings those wonderful family memories back.
It does. It really does. And it's so sweet. Like, we've been making them now, like I said, since 2020. So my boys, for the ones they were making back a few years ago, it's just fun to see the progress of their handwriting improving and their coloring improving and just kind of, again, reliving those fun memories each year.
Oh, I think this is amazing. And the other thing is, and I'm sure you haven't, but I moved to Maui as a teenager from the mainland, but I remember long trips as we traveled from state to state to go water skiing or snow skiing or, do some other activities. So keep those car people in mind as well, even though we don't have those long drives on island.
Absolutely. Yes, we do make just a general travel kind of on-the-go kit that isn't island-themed. And so those are also wonderful for, yes, those like either RV trips or road trips or trips on the train, which are also, just as amazing as flying to and from different islands.
Yeah. Well, and that's important that you mentioned that, like RV, but also trips on the train, especially because you folks are traveling internationally. So you're
Yes.
probably on train trips as you're traveling international. I just got back from Japan, so hours on
Oh,
train.
what a dream.
Uh,
We've done Japan twice. That was our very first international trip with our oldest son. And I was actually pregnant. And then we went back with both kiddos, and we're hoping to actually return next year and be a part of their international craft, their trade show there. We'd love to take
that'll be
Let's Go
phenomenal.
Kiddo over there.
Yes, because they so love everything about Hawaii. And the other thing
Yes.
is, even across the mainland, students reach out to the Chamber of Commerce and always want to learn about Hawaii. They ask us for stickers and maps and different things to learn about Hawaii. So great interest there. And then you got the kids involved. So tell us a little bit about how that involved.
We do. So both of my boys, my oldest is 10 and my youngest is now 8. My oldest has taken a massive interest into being part of the vendor world, being part of small business owner. He's very involved in new products that were made. He loves to go to the shows with me. He's actually flown to Oahu with me twice. He's gone to Kauai to do our event there. He's fantastic. He's flown to meet our printing partners that are on the mainland. He can use my credit card machine probably better than I can. He gets it all going for me on the square. Anything you see that is a product of ours that either has our website stamped or a label on it, that's all him. That is him printing, labeling. He is so involved into it. He has his own timesheet. He loves the idea of working to earn his own money. He has a savings account. We actually got him a green light account, which is a fantastic children's banking account that you can open up, and he gets his earnings through there. He can move his own money, portion every pay time to his savings account. And it just really seems to drive him. He's already been talking about wanting to start his own business when he's a teenager. So I feel very lucky. He's wonderful to have along. Now, my 8-year-old, I'd say, is not as involved and interested. He loves to start, and then oftentimes the sticker and color sheets and things just become too much, and he ends up coloring and crafting himself. But my oldest is he's very laser focused on getting jobs done and helping with the business.
Well, that's what I've learned. I have 2 children myself, and they're grown now, but very different.
Oh, could not be more opposite.
But they teach us so much.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. The best.
And you've also worked really hard to make this an eco-friendly business. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes. So originally when we very first started out, we were getting 100% recycled printer paper on our own. We were printing with the most eco-friendly ink that I can find at home. And then as we slowly began to grow and we were actually getting into some of the hotels and getting into retail locations, we decided to outsource. And so we did find a wonderful printing company that does all of their papers 100% recycled. They do carbon offsets for any shipping that they do or any energy that they're using to print their products, which is fabulous. The inks that they use are actually like a seaweed, and they use some seaweed inks and some, I believe, soy inks, and they're just wonderful. So all the paper that you'll find, all the card stocks that you find in any of our products are 100% recycled. The pouches, so the packaging that we're using is actually they're food grade compostable pouches. So when the kids are done playing with everything, using crafting everything on the inside, the pouches themselves can actually be cut up with any kind of scissors, or could actually be ripped apart with your hands and thrown right into a compost bin or right into a garden, and will just take a few months to compost right into the earth, which is wonderful. The products that you find inside, as far as like our pencil is made out of recycled materials. The keepsakes that we use inside, we actually work with Wahi, Hawaii. So those bamboo products, those are all sustainable products. Kids can reuse them over and over for, gosh, my boys have used their sporks and straws for maybe the past 2 years. I mean, we're still putting them in their bento boxes for school. So those are wonderful, last so long. There's absolutely no plastic found inside our kits, on any of our flashcard sets. So everything is either already been recycled or can be recycled when you're done using it, or can be reused for years. So it's very important to us that we weren't creating these like single use or just going in the landfill kind of quick use items.
Well, we are grateful for that. Thank you for your
Yes.
pockets for working so hard. It's not easy. I know it's not easy to support.
It's very tricky.
Yeah, it's tough. And when you have kids like this, it's even more tough because you're always looking for new and innovative products. You folks are very involved in Malama Maui. Can you talk a little bit about that and what does it support?
Okay, so after the fires this summer, we decided we wanted to create a product that would be something that we could kind of instantly give back to the people on Maui. Every year we have created some kind of fundraiser to benefit the keiki in need on Maui. And I just felt this big desire to make a new product that would not only be eco-friendly, would fit into our line quite well, but would also be a great reminder to those who visit here, who come here to vacation, that, a lot of the places that you visit on our island are so delicate and fragile, and that maybe they need these extra Malama tips, reminders on how to behave and how to properly take care of all these very special places that that they're allowed to come and visit while they're here. So we worked with a local artist and we made these set of flashcards. The backside has some wonderful information about each of the 12 locations. And down on the bottom, there's great Malama tips that we kind of pulled together. So wonderful, again, reminder of just easy things you can do to be kind to the island while you're here. To remember that that is either a sacred, cultural, fragile ecosystem that you're visiting. So please be delicate and kind when you're there. And as a way to give back with that product is in the beginning, all the way up until Halloween, we were donating 100% of proceeds back to Keiki here. And at Halloween, we decided that that was not going to be enough. So moving forward, we're just keeping that product as half of proceeds from any sales of that item will continue to go back to the keiki. Again, as I said, my children are both very involved in where we donate our money, what we do with our business. So I asked my boys what they wanted to do with this money. And both of my boys really wanted to buy Christmas presents for keiki. So we kind of looked around on Instagram. We found Makana for Maui that was being put together by several people. They were collecting presents from Amazon at the Maui Mall. And so we were able to donate quite a few. We were able to buy quite a few presents off of their Amazon list and have them sent to Makana for Maui. As we continue to save money from the proceeds, we will figure out as the new year comes, where's the best place to allocate that to whatever group of children we can.
That is fantastic. That's very exciting.
So special.
And the kids I know they love that. Well, we have run out of time, but before I let you go, I want to have you tell everybody how they can find you on social media and your website and your contact information.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So please find us. We are at let's_go_kiddo on Instagram. We are at Let's Go Travel Happy on Facebook. And our website is also www.letsgotravelhappy.com.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Sharing your company and how you got started and how the kids are involved. Just such a great and exciting story. We appreciate all that you're doing, and thank you for your tremendous help supporting our families this holiday season as well. I wanted to send blessings and aloha to your family. Just tell them we're thrilled with all that they're doing, and we're so proud of the boys.
Mahalo for having me, and happy holidays.
Thank you. Blessings and aloha and happy holidays. Okay, well, isn't that a tremendous story? I mean, they are just so engaged and working so hard in our community to start up the small business, do something positive for the youth, and give back both to our Aina and to our community in so many ways. We're excited to talk next to Monica Bogar, who is a small business owner of Napili Flow Farm. As Gary gets Monica on the phone, I want to share a little bit about Napili Flow Farm. It is located on the west side of Maui and was created in 2011 as an urban family farm created by Monica. She is the owner, and she was born and raised in that same area. And she is known for being a serial entrepreneur mom, farmer. She has owned numerous businesses, from restaurants to gift stores in Lahaina's Front Street in the 90s. She connects with other moms and creates a mom culture. And following the idea of making food, good food that's healthier, with amazing intentions, she has started to learn the techniques to know how to cook, harvest, and create with the family recipes that she has created the highest quality and healthier products for the Hawaiian community. So we're really excited to hear from Monica. Gary, have you been able to connect with Monica?
Yes, Monica is on.
Aloha, Monica. Good morning and welcome to Business Matters.
Aloha, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's our great pleasure. So can you tell us a little bit about the mission of Napili Flow Farm?
Yeah. I'd love to share our when we started off with our mission being creating healthier food, better food for more people in our community. But as we started to grow our company and our mission, we realized it goes a little deeper than just making good food for our community. We're really striving to put more focus in empowering people in our community, individuals that want to learn how to live a more sustainable life with practices of homesteading and more sustainable living.
Oh my gosh, that's a very broad and tremendous mission, an important mission. So tell us a little bit about how you're doing that.
Well, we've recently just have started to look for a bigger property and land. And what we want to create is a safe place to have more people come and learn and see what we're doing, anywhere from our farming practices to added value with farmers, creating more of more farmers, if you will, farming farmers, and anyone that wants to live a more sustainable life with, simple practices from composting to food fermentation. We hope to be able to bring more farm to table to the community to connect with their food and where their food is coming from.
Yeah, that's critical, and our youth too. I mean, it's so important that we help people understand where their food's coming from, and how to eat healthier, and the importance of that. We're always learning more on the medical side about the importance of eating healthier, and what that means in our body. And you folks are really looking at how to do this also with more organic ingredients. Can you talk a little bit about that, and how that translates into some of the recipes and the things that you've come up with?
Well, luckily for me, I've been very fortunate that I was raised by a mom who was very much in tune with her body and the food that we ate and how she raised us. And as we know now, with more studies being done, 70% of our immune system starts in our gut. And so, with that being said, we have the choice to self heal properly, but understanding how to do that, not always the easiest, but once you're able to understand that you have that choice, you start by being more conscious and aware of what you put in your mouth. And then it goes deeper into how is that food um, grown and raised and is the soil. And it keeps going down and down into the rabbit hole, but it's a really good hole to go down to, because if once we can control our own health and our bodies, we can make better choices and live a better life. And our gut is our second brain, which also, affects our moods and emotions. And with that being said, the health benefits of the product that we create, which is a lot of the fermented food that I was raised off of and learned how to make growing up and eating it.
Yes.
that so yeah, that all plays into the product that we make and how we make it and where we're sourcing our ingredients, and also bringing it, trying to be as local as possible, being that anytime there's a crisis, as we need to learn our resources right in our own community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're so great that you are out in our community helping with this. Tell us a little bit about the fermented products that you folks have been creating.
So our most popular one, and the one that we started off at Napili Flow, is our organic vegan kimchi. And then we've also launched product that was award-winning back in 2020 with the Good Food Awards, was our pineapple ginger turmeric sauerkraut. And then we've also bottled the juice that came off of these ferments, and we call them gut shots. And then recently, in the past couple of years, honoring my mom and her restaurant that was in Lahaina, at the wharf on Front Street, we launched a couple of years ago her kalbi sauce that was really popular at her restaurant.
Ah, yeah, amazing, amazing. And some of these things, when I was a teenager, I worked at a Hungarian deli and really got into sauerkraut like that. But not everybody is familiar with sauerkraut here in the islands.
I think more and more people
Yeah.
are learning about fermented foods and all the different types of fermented foods. So yeah, it was really exciting to play off the local flavors and create a flavor that also represented our island, which was the pineapple and the turmeric that we have pretty abundant of here.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. And of course, everybody loves kimchi here. Or if you don't, then you really should try it.
Right.
So, that's awesome. And tell us a little bit about some of the health benefits that you're finding with these fermented foods and how it helps improve the gut.
Well, fermented food is good for your gut, of course, and it has a lot of the probiotics that need to be cultivated in our gut system. And if you have a healthy gut, that can help, with a lot of alleviating a lot of things that you are going through. So it all starts off there. So we really just focused a lot on fermented food to help with the gut biome.
Yeah. And you mentioned earlier that it also gets down to not only the produce that you're growing, but it gets down to the soil. And I know it's really important for you to be in the organic industry.
Yeah.
I use a lot of the word organic, but it's almost like a shorthand for what I really mean. And it's because a lot of people more understand what organic is when you don't use pesticides and chemicals and herbicides. But really, our practices is beyond organic. We love our regenerative agriculture farmers that are practicing regenerative ag, anywhere from Korean natural farming to permaculture. And what that is utilizing whatever resource and waste that you create and put it right back into the soil. So organic farming you can go and buy a bottle of organic fertilizer from the store, and that's great. But being able to utilize your own resources and your own waste is a step further in being better practices on how we farm, or like our lifestyle. So like composting, vermicomposting with the worm teas, a lot of fermented plant fruits and things like that can actually make live fertilizer for your plants and coming off of your own waste.
Which is amazing. It's something really to see. I know I saw a video of a gentleman who was doing worm composting and creating phenomenal soil, and he called the soil black gold.
Gold, yeah.
That soil was making him a lot of money and doing amazing things. We've got just a minute. Can you tell everybody where they can find your products or find you as you're selling the products?
Well, right now we're just about scaling up. We were able to partner up with the manufacturer on the other island on Oahu, and we are nowhere to be found right now currently, but we're hoping to get ready to launch with, early in the next year with Foodland to start and all of the local health food stores on Maui, as well as the Foodland chain across the island. That's our first launch.
Fantastic.
In the meantime, follow us on Instagram at Napili Flow Farm, and you can kind of watch our journey as we scale up and grow.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Monica, for being on the show and sharing with us this morning. I so appreciate you, and I want to send blessings and best wishes to you and your family this holiday season.
Thanks, you guys. Same to you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Well, it goes quick on Business Matters, and that's all the time we have, but blessings and best wishes to all listening. We appreciate you participating in Business Matters each week. We hope you'll tune in next Tuesday for more, and just enjoy the season and serve as you can. Aloha.